Hello and welcome to the Storytelling for the Soul podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Kanata, and this is the place we talk about all things expressive writing and other creative techniques, all with a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer thrown in. Buckle up and enjoy. Hello and welcome to this very special New Year edition of the podcast, which is all about 2025. In saying that, whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast, whether it's at the tail end of 2024, I'm recording this on the 18th of December 2024, or you have found your way to this episode at some time in 2025 or beyond, let me assure you, you will be able to use all of the journal prompts that I present you with today. We will reflect a little bit on 2024 in today's episode, but we will more so look ahead to 2025. Of course, New Year, time of the year where we typically look, reflect. People are more open to self-reflection. Lots of people have annual leave, and it's really just a great time of the year to do a little bit of an audit on your life and to be uber honest with yourself, because as I constantly say in these podcast episodes, you can't change anything that you're unaware of. If you happen to be someone who wants to delve a little bit deeper into 2024, check out the episode before this. Both of these episodes are also available as articles on my website, sarahkanata.com. Sarah spelt S-A-R-A-H and then Kanata, C-A-N-N-A-T-A. The 2024 article is called 20 Journal Prompts to Help You Bid Farewell to 2024. And then the New Year piece is called 20 Journal Prompts to Ensure 2025 Doesn't Become a Repeat of 2024. Now, in both articles, I've given you some short and sharp steps as to how to use the journal prompts that will follow. So if you're interested in that, check out the articles online. But let's get stuck in. I have categorized these prompts because I know that some of you will be keener to delve into some areas than other areas. So as I run through, feel free to pause if anything takes your interest and you feel compelled to write as we go. But otherwise, of course, you can come back to this episode at any time and also bookmark the articles, which I highly recommend. Okay, first up is reflecting on 2024. First prompt: if you summed up 2024 in a word, what would that word be? Where in your body do you feel that word? Now, as you'll catch on the further that I go, this is not standard journaling. I work with something called embodied writing. And what that means is when you're writing and standard journaling, it can basically become a very cerebral process and one massive brain dump, which certainly has its place, but that's not what we're doing here. We are paying attention to what's going on within our body, in our mind, but also what's happening from the neck down. So you could be feeling nothing at all. That's still a feeling. You could, as you run through and work through these journal prompts, you could feel all kinds of things. Everyone is different. Butterflies in your stomach. You might notice that your heart is beating a little bit faster. Perhaps you're getting pins and needles or burning sensations around your body. I would say be open, be curious. If you feel like you are tipping into a state of overwhelm, please stop. This is why I recommend reading the instructions in the article, because I do provide some background on what I would call a resource, which is an embodied processing technique. So I am trained in embodied processing, which is basically a body-based approach to working with trauma. And essentially, I weave embodied writing and embodied processing together in my work. Now, I have backtracked a little there, so let's start this over. Let's start with the first category, reflecting on 2024. So if you summed up 2024 in a word, what would that word be? Where in your body do you feel that word? Prompt number 2. Imagine holding 2024 in your hands. What does it look, feel, or smell like? Prompt number 3. Think about a moment in 2024 that made you laugh or smile. Where in your body do you feel that memory? And the last prompt for this category, what about your 2024 are you most proud of? Okay, next category is creating your 2025. So of course, looking ahead now. Prompt number 1. Picture yourself waking up on your best day of 2025. What are you noticing in your body as you picture this? Next prompt, what do you want to release this year? What does release feel like in your body? Prompt number 3, place your hand on your heart and take 3 deep belly breaths. That was belly breaths, by the way. Apologies, I misspoke there. What will you create in 2025? And then the last prompt for this category, imagine you're already in December 2025 and have had the best year of your life. How does this feel in your body? Now the next category is all about going within. Notice your bare feet on the floor. Write whatever comes to mind as you do this. Prompt number 2, write about a time when your gut instinct proved correct. What sensations did you notice in your body? Prompt number 3. What part of your body feels the most alive right now, at this very moment? What might that part be telling you? And then the final prompt for this category, what are you most grateful for regarding what your body can do for you? Now, on to the next category, which is all about strengthening the mind-body connection. Prompt number 1, sit quietly and notice your breathing for 3 minutes. Write about whatever you notice. Prompt number 2, reflect on a time you felt disconnected from your body in 2024. What was happening at this time? Prompt number 3, place your hand on your heart. Allow any thoughts to surface and fall away. Write about what you notice in your mind and body. And then the last prompt for this section, when do you feel your best? How can you plan a routine to support this in 2025? On to the final category, which is all about thriving physically, mentally, and emotionally in 2025. Prompt number 1. What small promise will you make to yourself this year? How does this feel in your body? Next prompt, write about a self-care practice you'd like to incorporate into your routine. How can you bring this into your life in 2025? Prompt number 3, think about your workspace or home. How can you make it feel more supportive and nourishing? And then the final prompt, describe your perfect day. When will you plan a day like this for yourself? So there we go. There are the 20 prompts for 2025. I encourage you to work your way through these whenever you have a moment. All you need is 5 or 10 minutes and a relatively calm environment so that you can actually concentrate. And if you feel compelled to write for longer, great, go for it. I know that many of you are time poor, particularly at this time of the year. So before I go, I do want to take this opportunity to quickly mention my new pilot program, which is called Soulful Steps. So if I know one thing, and I know this because I've spoken with many of you, you have a burning desire to journal and to write. You know all of the science and the background and the evidence that writing is very beneficial to many aspects of your life. However, you just can't establish the habit. And as I mentioned, many of you are time poor, so you actually need, for lack of a better word, an appointment so that you keep the time for yourself and set that aside to actually write. So enter Soulful Steps. This is a pilot program. It's the first time I've ever run it. As a result, I'm running it at 50% off of the standard price. So it's a one-off payment of $750. I'm talking Australian dollars, and I can definitely sort payment plans upon request as needed. I had 3 places. I now only have 2 places. And essentially the program is customized to you. But a really basic outline is that over the course of 3 months, we will use embodied writing and other body-based practices to essentially help you to set healthier boundaries, to have a better connection with yourself, to raise your awareness levels, because as I said, if you're not aware of things, nothing can possibly change, and ultimately avoid burnout. Because here's the thing, the average person that I'm talking to is a woman aged 40 plus, and you are juggling a lot. So typically, you're juggling work or a career, a family who's not quite grown up yet, so it could be young kids or teenage kids, and also in many cases, elderly parents. Even if I haven't described you to a T there, you could be juggling perhaps starting a new business and while working full-time and being a single mum. You could find yourself in many different circumstances in your life. So this is one-on-one support for someone, or 2 people actually, who are interested in seeing how writing can benefit them on a daily basis. And your progress is super important to me, and that's exactly why I'm only opening this up to 3 people, because I want to be able to show up for you as best as I can. And of course, I will be very grateful for your feedback as we go. So if you're interested in that, head over to my website, sarahkanata.com, and see the Work With Me menu item. If you're simply interested in more content like this, that is perfectly okay. Head over to my website again and check out the Soul Stories menu item. And I will just spell out my name for you, just in case. So it's Sarah, spelt conventionally, S-A-R-A-H, and then my last name, CANNATA.com. You are very welcome to reach out to me via email. It's info@sarahkanata.com. So again, info@sarahkanata.com. Obviously, the spelling of my name is exactly the same. And if you do feel like you could be a good fit for Soulful Steps, I'm very happy to jump on a Zoom call with you and see how we get along, and if we align, and if we think that we can create some magic over the course of 3 months. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you got a lot out of this episode and the journal prompts. If you are listening to this at the tail end of 2024 or the start of 2025, have an amazing new year. Stay safe, be happy, and I wish you all the best. And I will speak with you in the next episode.